Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Collectorverse. This is episode 13. This is Jedi Chris, live from Coruscant, Southern California. For those that don't know that, we have Rogue Rick with us today.
Up?
We got. Sorry about that. I'm cutting him off. I'm all excited, you know, and also on cold medicine. But anyway, we got Rogue Rick. We've got the dark side himself, Thor Gunderson, and the Punisher Rodney.
Reunited and it feels so good.
That's where the talent comes from, everybody. My counterpart from Southern California, I have Ian Dempster from the ID Collector Series.
Please don't call me Ian, just call me the pop guy now.
Pop guy.
Look like right. There you go, because once you pop, you can't stop.
I know that's right. Oh, goodness.
And lastly, the man,
not safe for work.
And lastly, the man, the myth, the legend. We've got Richard Melbourne, live from the UK. He's the mastermind behind the Collectorverse. Richard, how you doing?
Still hungover from popping a full bottle of champagne last night and thinking it was a good idea. Mid awards show, down a full bottle of champagne, 6 mini cheeseburgers, 7 prawn skewers, and 8 beers. It was a good idea. It was really good, yeah. And the best bit about the awards was when Ian's champagne bottle popped by himself, and I swear he had to change his shorts. That was really good. So.
Hey, it's not a party till somebody gets wet. But anyway, moving forward. Didn't use a cuss word.
It's not after 8 yet, Chris. Come on.
All right. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and hand this over to Richard. Richard, we have a nice, fun itinerary, and I have a lot of opinion to bring. So, Richard.
Well, I just wanted to talk about last night a bit. I'm trying to forget it, but let's talk about it. Yeah, it was a really good night, actually. It took me days to get everything set up, literally days to get everything set up. We had every award. I cleaned out my edit off and put every award in there, like on the stands. It looked amazing. I had 2 different camera angles set up, and Ian had his, and then Jason had a weird hat on, looked like a leprechaun. We got Johnny to put gold in his bedroom, which was probably the biggest achievement of the entire awards. Johnny had gold all over his bedroom, which made me really happy because I like torturing him a lot. It was a good night. I can't remember much of it. I'm going to tell you that. And to be fair, this morning I woke up and I was like, the only real thing that never happened is because I've got footage of it. And, but yeah, it was a really good night. I think the run time, we had quite a few different breaks in between because so we had a few breaks in between. So I'm hoping that the runtime won't be too bad. I can't tell you who won, but it wasn't a landslide for anybody. It was quite spaced out. There was few people did more well than others, but I was really happy with the public voters and where they went and who they chose. So, yeah, it's crazy that it's actually over now, like post awards night filming, because it's been like a big thing building up to it for God knows a couple of months now, and we're like, oh well, it was there, and I got a bit nervous beforehand because I wasn't originally supposed to host. I wanted somebody else to do it, but we just didn't have the time to go through I mean, we had like a run order, and we had like all the winners. We had the giveaways. We had cards made up and everything. It was just a big operation to be able to explain that to someone in a couple of weeks and get them through. I mean, Ian, what do you think to the night? Can you remember much of it? You've been partying for 2 days straight, so probably you can't remember much.
I've literally been partying for all weekend. I don't know, maybe not as long as Thor because he was on a boat. But actually, I was telling Richard and the guys that my kidneys are not working. I'm telling you right now, it's crazy. But hey, there's a couple people in the chat room I want to say hi to. Steven, my DC Collectibles. Caesar, what's up, man? How you guys doing? Jeff Gerard, how are you? And I know you guys can't answer me, but let me get back to the night of the awards. I got to admit, when I woke up this morning, I thought that my head was going to start hurting. But I woke up and I actually felt relieved because we've worked so hard on this, and it's been 3 months coming, and I just feel relieved that it's over now. It's over for us. But no, I'm serious. We put so much work into it. And I know I have a lot of work to do because I'm the one who has to mail all this stuff out. Richard's like, I'm just going to do the good stuff, and you're going to do the little work that nobody else wants to do. So I hope I get all of the shipping right. And if I don't, please forgive me. So, yeah.
If you don't get your Bowser statue, I think you're going to be very forgiving of Ian.
Yeah, just remember, I'm sorry goes a long way.
I'm sorry, I can't actually see Ian. He's buried underneath a pile of pops.
Right. We got a
I don't
vendor
know where he is. I can't see him.
Oh, hey, randomly, just to let everybody know who's watching right now, I sent 2 messages. I replied to 2 messages from the last CV show saying, hey, if you reply to me really fast within 24 hours, I'm going to send you a free pop. Nobody replied. This is proof that I've got pops to send out. So leave a message.
Yeah, I got 2 extra just in case Ian ran out. I've got a Porg and I've got the Executioner Trooper. These are hot items, so apparently I'm just going to help add to the collector's addiction problem that we all have. So
yeah,
yep, I do.
Paradox.
So yeah, it was a good.
What's up, Paradox?
It was a good night. We've got
Paradox. What's up, man?
Hey, Paradox. Thanks for joining.
We'll be doing a Sif Happens on Friday. We'll be giving our non-spoiler reviews of apart from Thor. So he'll be basically sat with his hands in his ears going la 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 for the entire episode. So me, Paradox, and Chris will basically be going through our non-spoiler reviews of The Last Jedi and Torturing Thor. So that's Friday. So I'm looking forward to that.
We're gonna give away these Royal Guard also Friday. So
Jason's meant to be on tonight. By the way, he's just making coffee. Typical Aussie's late. He was on last night, but we will not get his thoughts on what he thought of the event. Anyway. Yeah, let's move on to the first big topic, which is the merger of Fox and Disney coming up. There's whether it will happen or not is still in question. But what does it actually mean for both movie fans and collectors? Because you got to think with collectors, licenses and stuff, and what it means for potentially getting more different characters. We always talk about getting a variety of characters, especially X-Men. So I mean, Rick. The potential merger, do you think it's going to go through, and what do you think it spells out for us fans?
Well, actually, the way I understand it, I could be wrong. I understand that it's already officially done behind the scenes. It's just going through the paperwork and everything. So that's what I heard. Rumors, but anyway, actually, it's a big deal for me because I don't know if I've mentioned this on the show, but the Fantastic Four are one of my lifelong favorite comic book series. And they've really gotten screwed over with this whole Fox thing. Disney and Marvel have sort of overlooked them because they didn't have the movie rights and everything. And it seems like they've sort of gotten pushed aside. And I think it's a shame because the Fantastic Four is an iconic, team up of superheroes. And I feel like they've just gotten screwed in the comic book world. The comics they haven't had comics, and the collectibles are almost impossible. Sideshow doesn't have anything Fantastic Four. They haven't for a long time. They didn't even finish a line of Fantastic Four premium formats. It's like they just bailed out on it, the whole thing. So I would personally like to see anything Fantastic Four premium formats. If they make some more films, maybe some better films. Like to see some Hot Toys, stuff like that. I feel like that's the main area I'm focusing on. I feel like the X-Men have still gotten their due. They've had statues. XM's made statues. I feel like we've seen X-Men stuff, but I feel like Fantastic Four has really gotten screwed over in this whole Fox thing. I actually like the idea of Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine in the Avengers. I heard that that's now a rumor that's going around that he may come back for Avengers 4 and play Wolverine with the Avengers. And I don't know if anybody out there that wouldn't like to see that. I mean, who wouldn't like to see Hugh Jackman come back as Wolverine and hang out with the Avengers? I mean, that would be fantastic. Like a dream come true for me. So, yeah, I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be good for the comic book world, the movie world, and I think it's also going to be good for collectors to get some of those pieces maybe that sort of been under the radar and haven't been being made because of this. What do you think about it, Thor?
Well, if you go past even the comic book stuff, I'm curious to see exactly what they're getting. Does it include everything? Because beyond the comic book stuff, you got Alien, you got Predator, you got Planet of the Apes. Because I'm a huge Predator fan, and Predators was okay, but I've always wanted to see them go like to the Predator homeworld and see why, examine their culture, why they're hunters and stuff like that. And I think for pieces, like you said, the Fantastic Four can get into the mix, and we can see some more. Well, we got a lot of Galactuses and Surfers, but yeah, Things and Mr. Fantastics and Johnny Storms and all that kind of stuff. But really, I want to see and beyond. If you think down the road, when stuff starts to get kind of repetitive, you might even see some crossovers. Because I read something. That they might even consider. I mean, this is not me. This is something I read that Marvel versus Star Wars are crossing over. Stuff like that. They were saying they might examine that kind of possibility. So I think it's good. A lot of dormant franchises might get resurrected.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly right. Fantastic Four gets screwed all the time. They do. I mean, if you're a fan of the Fantastic Four, you get screwed constantly. Like there's just nothing out there. It's crazy.
I agree.
Because they suck.
They don't suck. Come on. They're iconic. How do you not like the Fantastic Four? Come on.
I just don't.
Jeez.
Because the movies were bad.
When you suck, you're going to be the target of my next rant, you asshole.
And there's Richard.
Ian, what do you think to all this? Come on, just don't pull any punches this time, please.
Okay, I'll hold back. You know what? The Disney merger, Disney's a monopoly, man. This is getting crazy. Logan, I don't know if I want to see Hugh Jackman come back. I kind of want to see them reboot it. I think Paradox mentioned in the chat he wanted to see it rebooted, X-Men. I would like to see a reboot of X-Men. Let's just start over, start fresh. As to the Thor comment about bringing Marvel into the Star Wars universe, how badass would that be if Guardians of the Galaxy shot down a TIE fighter? That'd be sick. Just give me a little, give me a little bit of that. But I want to say hi to Jesse in the chat. Thanks for joining us as always.
Jason.
What does the man from down under? How's it going, mate? Are you finally back with us?
Yeah, well, 6:30 a.m. in the morning. The alarm went off. I've run over. I thought I'd wake up an hour early, and turns out I didn't.
I don't want your excuses. I want your opinion.
What was the merger of Star Wars and Disney? It's what
Disney,
the Marvel fans have always been wanting. It's what the Marvel fans have always been wanting, that they can get all their characters together. Finally, they'll be on the level playing field with DC, where they can use all their own characters. Honestly, though, like with the Star Wars crossover, I don't see it happening. I don't see a Marvel Star Wars crossover happening, just for property rights and stuff like that. But otherwise, look, everyone wants to see the X-Men and mutants with the Avengers. You know what I mean? If they had done this a few years back, you could have had a proper Civil War.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Chris, what do you think?
Well, I've ever since I heard the word on this, I've been doing some research, and it turns out that Disney basically only capitalizes 26% of the movies that come out that are the blockbuster types. With this merger, they're predicting a 40% capitalization of movie franchise to go out with this. Again, I was reading, not that I'm plugging this, but I was reading Forbes magazine, and they covered a pretty extensive detail. But I learned a few things that I didn't know. I mean, I didn't realize that Marvel sold individual characters to different folks. So you figure, as I'm looking at my cheat sheet here, Sony 20th Century Fox, they own like Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, Wolverine, and the Hulk. And then you've got, Sony owns that. And then 20th Century Fox has X-Men, Fantastic Four, Daredevil. Lionsgate has Man-Thing, Punisher, and Namor. And the thing is, even though Marvel, has a big chunk, they were basically saying that some of their you want to call them B-level characters, they really spruced them up and made them these really awesome characters. I mean, let's face it, as a kid buying comic books, I wasn't really a huge Thor fan, but, you know, now I'm standing in line because I want to see what's going to happen next, because, I mean, they really made them awesome, you know, and that's something that maybe I'm older and I appreciate things more. I don't know. But bottom line is, I see a lot of these characters that were together in the comic book series actually on the live screen now. And I think that's huge. What's that going to mean for collectors and moviegoers? I'm seeing more films. I'm going to see, you know, we're going to see some cameos. We're going to see some really good collectible stuff, in my opinion. And I honestly, I can't really, I'll just keep talking in circles now, but doing some research, you know, I could really project some really awesome statues, figures, you know, some prints going on because of this merger.
Let me ask you guys a question, because a lot of people in the chat room are worried that Disney buying Deadpool, you know, are they going to make an R-rated movie? You know, that's
your man over here wants to speak on that.
Hey, Rodney, tell us about R-rated movies in Disney.
So I got really mixed feelings about the whole Disney thing because of Deadpool, because that was my favorite comic movie. I think as far as team-ups, getting groups together, it's a great move for Disney. But are they going to back away and let people do what's been successful? So are they going to mess with Deadpool, or are they going to let what was successful work?
Rodney, do you know what Disney likes more than making sure that they appeal to your audience? They like money.
But
they like money more than they do appealing to your audience.
So did Warner Brothers.
So
their execs messed up their movies. So
yeah, but what I'm saying is they're not.
That's a really good point, Rodney.
They're not going to change the Deadpool formula though, because it makes
money. I hope you're right. I really hope you're right.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, there's what Chris were talking about when Marvel, before there was a universe, before they were bought out by Disney, before everything else that started it, Iron Man, Marvel was really struggling. The comic company was really struggling. They nearly went under, and they sold off a lot of the characters to these studios, basically to keep the doors open, to keep the business running. Else there would have been no characters, and there would have just the IPs would have fell through and everything, and it would have been a free for all. So they basically sold off Spider-Man and this whole Fantastic Four, and as long as these companies keep making every 4 to 6 years or something, a new movie with that character, which is why we got a Fantastic Four not long ago that was really crap.
That's my point.
They get to keep the character, basically. It's part of the deal if they do a thing. So what is the big thing with this Disney one is that currently Disney and Fox's turnovers, as far as the movies goes, are pretty much nearly identical. Disney are number 1 in the marketplace, Fox are number 3. So this would basically take 2 of the top 3. The problem we've got, what Jason brought up the other day with me, is will the FCC allow it? Because they've currently blocked TNT last time, the 2 to block that because of the monopoly it would create. So will they actually allow it? I don't know if. I think it'll go through. I think Disney, it will go through. I think it'll be. As far as characters wise,
I think what you're saying there, it's the Time Warner AT&T deal. That's the precursor. That one goes through. If the Justice Department and they can't find anything wrong with it, and they let it go through, I can't see any problem with the Disney Marvel merger.
Well, I can't see them locking 2 so close together. If they block Time Warner, I can't see them blocking both of them, to be honest. I can't see that they're going to... Else it'll be like, what is the point in even trying to get a big merger going? Because you're just going to block everyone.
Yeah, that's
I can't see them...
I'm sorry. I was
going
to say the one thing that, you know, like you said, Richard, they're all about making money. And if they go and meddle with a character that's already been put out there that everyone really likes, right? So they've got Ryan Reynolds playing the brash and very cocky, and let's face it, very colorfully languaged Deadpool, and they decide to change that to stay in some sort of PG-13 parameter, as opposed to R like it normally is. They're going to lose money. They're absolutely going to lose money because we've already identified with this Deadpool character that, let's face it, who doesn't like the Deadpool character? I mean, I've seen that movie probably 6 times now.
And I'm a DC fan, and I love it.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing too. Is even DC's coming out, Warner Brothers, they're coming out with really awesome DC movies, and they're revamping stuff too. We've got really awesome characters. Honestly, to start meddling and trying to, what do you want to say, censor or kind of restrict, I think, especially for an anti-hero, is kind of suicide when it comes to trying to make that the big multi-billion-dollar return.
A silver lining. Sorry, mate.
Sorry. What you were saying there, Chris, what they actually showed there was, for the first time, you could actually take a comic book property and just take it exactly from the comic book, put it on screen, and it worked.
Absolutely.
So, like what you're saying, we know that they all love to make money, but they've all seen that was, for the lowest budget film, that was the highest grossing. So they made the most overturn back on Deadpool, right? So why the hell did the other studios all find the same thing?
Star Wars. Sorry, Chris. Star Wars fans should be jumping for joy. To be fair, because you know what this means if this happens. It means that 4K theatrical cut of the original trilogy that Gareth Edwards watched when he was doing Rogue One at Lucasfilm will be getting released because 20th Century Fox still own the release rights to the original trilogy. So if they buy Fox, that means they can release the original trilogy in a theatrical cut through Disney finally on Blu-ray. Because Fox have always owned that original trilogy. They've never once given up the rights to release. If you ever see an original trilogy come out, a new version, it's always 20th Century Fox that releases it. So if Disney buy this, which is smart, because we know they have this 4K version of the theatrical cut because the director of Rogue One watched it. So it is lying around. So this is probably one of their things, thinking we can release this theatrical cut as a box set and make a shit ton of money. So that is something that nobody's really mentioned. To be honest, it's not. People forget that Fox have those rights.
I didn't know that. I always wondered why they didn't want to release the original. I didn't know they still own the rights.
Yeah, Fox still own the rights to it, the original theatrical cut to release it.
Even the digital remastered one that they brought out, what was it, 10 years ago? That was by Fox as well. So
yeah, but they've got a version with everything cut out, and it's exactly how George Lucas showed it in the cinema originally, with no remastered stuff or anything, and it's 4K. So that will be getting released if this goes through. That's what I mean. There's too many ducks lined up for this not to go through. Disney have got.
We're all comic book fans and statue collectors and stuff like that. So we're looking at it from the comic book properties and being able to join it all together. And what a lot of people are looking at with this merger is the main thing is Disney want access to Fox's media arm, like for their TV networks and stuff like that. Fox has got a lot of money invested in cable TV networks worldwide. So they've got like 30 or 40% stakes in a lot of these companies worldwide. So if they get that, they've just suddenly got all them properties that pertain to them networks and everything, and they've just like pretty much doubled their output.
And also, you've got to remember that if Disney buy this, they double their share in Hulu as well, the streaming service, which means that this could be their plan why they've removed everything off Netflix.
Yeah,
they could be seeing that they will have control and they will now have control and interest in Hulu apparently if this goes through, because Fox owns shares as well. So that's what I mean. There's just so many different things that Disney benefit from this, and it is as far as collectibles go, we always complain that we're not getting enough X-Men statues. Well, we know that Disney like to give out licenses. We know that they're not shoddy on giving out licenses for statues. So you're probably going to see a lot more X-Men. You're probably going to see a lot more Fantastic Four. You're probably going to see. I mean, the only one that they then need really to complete the set, I think, for the main characters is Spider-Man. And I think Sony
how's it going to work with their rules that they've got, where no nudity, no blood, no images of them being defeated? You know, them standard rules they have for their characters in statue form.
They're going to have to rethink that.
Little Mermaid and stuff like that, because they're fantasy, they're fairy tales and not actually owned by Disney. So you can do that sort of stuff, but you don't see the rest of the characters being done like that.
Yeah, well, to be fair, there is a lot. I think they care about money more than they do pleasing everyone, to be honest. I think if they think Logan will make more money. I mean, to be fair, if Logan comes over, it's a prime chance for them to reboot it, because it's come to a new company, it's working on it. So rebooting it with a new actor makes more sense than bringing Hugh Jackman back, even though he'd probably like to do it and be in the Avengers. I don't see why.
If they actually merge the two properties together, he would come back for another movie. That's the only reason he'd come back.
I don't think that's smart from a Disney point of view. To be honest, I don't think that's smart. I'd just reboot it. Because then you're going to do one film with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and then next film's going to be like, oh, rebooting it.
I mean, if you can do one where you can have like a big event happen where the continuity and the timeline's going to collapse or something like that, and everything's going to be rebooted, you could do it.
It's what DC's doing. DC's doing Flashpoint. They're going to reboot the whole thing.
DC basically wrote themselves a get out of jail free card with Flashpoint, really, didn't they? They had the foresight to think one day we're going to completely F up our movie franchise, and then we'll be able to reboot it with this Flashpoint story. So well done, lads.
It was written in the Flashpoint. I mean, it was written in Batman v Superman. That's where people were saying, "Oh, things didn't make sense." Now you now see that there was big plans implanted in that film.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Well, I've heard the story behind Flashpoint is big. Story in Flashpoint is going to be somebody goes back to when Kevin Sujihara was born. They're going to kill him so that everything turns out fucking well. Storyline. He is an absolute. Go on, Rick. Sorry, mate. Go on.
Yeah, just say go watch Batman versus Superman. There's a whole scene in there with Flash, and he clearly came from the future and said, "Oh, I came to the wrong time. I'm too early." And it's obvious the whole thing's Flashpoint. And if you even look at the scene with the where you have Darkseid with his army, and you have Nightmare Bats and the whole deal, that is all tied into that whole thing. Those are alternate timelines. It's not a dream. People originally thought it was all a dream. It's actually not a dream.
I'll go one further, Rick. I reckon it was implanted by Martian Manhunter.
By Martian Manhunter?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yep. For sure.
Yeah, somebody in the chat, it's Ian, said if we get the original theatrical cut, we'll finally be able to see that hand shot first.
Exactly. Hand shot first.
Yeah, they need to fix that.
I'll be happy if this goes through with Disney. I think it'll be good. I think that there is a few speed bumps, but I think we're going to get more out of it as movie fans and collectors if Disney are handling these properties than we are. I mean, when Thor talked about Predator, we're actually getting a Shane Black Predator again, aren't we? Did you know that, Thor?
I did know that. I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but I knew that was coming out. But I just want to see, far as the future goes. I just always want to see them go to the home world and see what that's. I think that'd be.
I'm gonna miss Shane Black as a character though. There's that scene where he's talking to I can't remember. I think it's Jesse Ventura or it's somebody else.
Oh yeah.
He's going down like man, he got a big. He's like, she goes, why you say it twice? Oh, that was the echo.
The echo, yeah.
Oh yeah.
He took him out first.
That's awesome.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Yeah. You got time to duck.
That's right.
Right, anyway, we're going to move on to topic 2, which, by the way, there's going to be no spoilers in this. We're basically going to go through some of the initial reactions from the Last Jedi premiere that was last night. We're going to go through a couple of tweets that people put out. There's honestly no spoilers whatsoever. We're not going to spoil anything for you.
Good.
So let's go through.
I haven't seen it.
No, well, the donor is out. I'm not going to spoil it. The Last Jedi is absolutely fantastic, gripping, touching, funny and powerful with gorgeous shots and the most badass battles. When it gets going, holy crap, does it get going. Hands down the best Star Wars movie since Empire.
Aha.
The same dude that wrote the exact same thing for Thor.
Keyword, this Empire.
And Aaron Couch says, The Last Jedi is incredibly satisfying and hands down Mark Hamill's best performance of Luke Skywalker. And I've heard that off a few people, including people that I respect. They said that this is Mark Hamill's best performance.
Hey,
so,
it's got to be
the last one. I can see that, absolutely.
He said it's going to be last.
Academy Award winner.
I mean, it's not all completely full of praise. Somebody said, impressed with Star Wars Last Jedi. It makes some big, impressive, and surprising moves that I didn't expect. Not all the plot stuff is exactly perfect, but the character work is once again fantastic. And it's just amazing to see Luke Skywalker back in action.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll basically go through it. Last Jedi is everything. Intense, funny, emotional, exciting. It's jam-packed with absolutely jaw-dropping moments. I loved it so much. I'm still shaking. Maybe I need to get my better medication. I don't know. Because to be fair, Thor might be shaking if it is actually that mind-blowing. We might not next, like, see if happens after Thor just might be laid there like that.
You got that
for about.
You can see that. I can just see that. I mean, deer in the headlights. It was amazing.
He just sat there with a cigarette like that.
Yeah, in the theater.
Oh yeah.
I'm lighting up. As soon as the credits rolling, I'm lighting up.
No, as soon as credits rolling, Thor's walking out and then walking back in like a turnstile to the next showing. Like, oh, I'm going again.
I've done it before. Trust me.
I'm going Thursday morning.
They clean the theater.
Jason's been winding me up because he's going to see it before any of us, because Australia are obviously in front of us, so he'll be seeing it Thursday morning their time, which is, what time is that here, Jason? That's basically...
It's 7 a.m. It's 7 a.m. Monday morning now, so what is it, Sunday night over there for you at the moment? So.
Yeah, so it'll be Wednesday night our time when you see it, so I don't really like you that much right now.
I don't know, bro.
I'll be seeing it.
I'll send you a message when I'm in there. I'll send you a selfie. Hey,
way to be a team player, Jason. Thank you.
Back in the day, like I remember when I was a kid, and these movies had come out, and we had to wait like 2 to 3 weeks after you guys had seen this shit before it would even show. Now we get to see it before you guys.
To be fair though, Jason, they had to get it out to the drive-in so that you could actually watch it. I've seen cinemas back then.
The drive-ins are fantastic.
I miss those.
Yeah, if you want to watch it, get stole by a dingo and you want to watch it with a kangaroo, then drive-ins are fantastic over there. You know what? It's nice to see that there's really positive stuff coming out. I know they said it about The Force Awakens, and then you talk to some people now and they're like, yeah, it's not that good, which I don't get how your opinion can change that much on The Force Awakens. Yeah, was it a bit fluffy? But they had to reboot it for a new generation, and they were playing it a bit safe, probably. But I think that Rian Johnson was the perfect guy for this. I think that there will be some...
I'm not throwing shade at Star Wars, but that Force Awakens was crap.
This is coming from a man that is a big DC fan and probably loves Superman 4.
Hey, honestly,
wow.
Oh no, dude, come on! I'll even hang shit on that. Superman, a stalker that hangs over his ex-girlfriend's place. It's wrong. But listen, what I'm going to say about it is, if you go back to the original Star Wars movies, I love more. In fact, I actually showed my wife for the first time Revenge of the Sith. Rise of the Sith last night, episode 3. So she watched it, just, wow, that was really good. And I'm like, see, I've been trying to tell you for 20 years to watch these bloody things. So, yeah, I'm getting it. So don't say I don't like Star Wars. But listen, the black guy in that movie, all he did was run away and whinge and bitch and moan. So she picked up a lightsaber and was suddenly the best Jedi we've ever seen with zero training.
I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off there.
We had a new Death Star that let's just destroy let's destroy 3 stars at a time instead of 1 because we're better now. And it was just, they just put everything that worked from the old ones and mixed them together into one movie, and it was cheap and it was wrong.
About this Finn fight, right? The only reason he was able to, and Rey to an extent, was to be able to hold their own against Kylo Ren. He just took a bowcaster to the pissing gut from Chewie. Bowcaster was knocking soldiers all over the place, and he took it like a champ, and he was bleeding. You know what I mean? He was bleeding. He'd just been through the emotional trauma of killing his father, which he still was struggling with, you could tell. That's why they were able to hold their own against it, and he underestimated Rey. So, you know what I mean? Finn lasted, what, 20 seconds? He got stabbed in the shoulder, and then he got cut up the back. He lasted 20 seconds, that was it.
Well, I think with episode 7, I think they spent a lot of time trying to develop the new characters. Like, you were talking 30 years, has passed, literally, and in the storyline. All the 30 years of comic books and novels are no longer canon, so all this knowledge in my head is on a shelf, apparently, because, it's no longer there. But bottom line, the fight scenes were good. The Force Awakens, basically, it's somebody was able to tap into it very quickly and readily. And there's going to be mixed reviews on that because, you know, you see people training and struggling. And, well, you know, in life, some people are really good. They're naturals at certain things where the rest of us have to train and practice to do right. So, yeah,
Chris, you're not that bad at chats, mate. It's fine, honestly.
Thanks. Yeah, but so we'll see. Well, I think this now that we've got the character base, now we get to see them all in action. We already know about Luke Skywalker, so now we get to see an older, maybe abstract. Maybe he's dealing with a lot of internal stuff. Maybe he's tapped into the dark side. Maybe he's trying to figure out what's right and wrong. Should the Jedi come back? You know, so he's probably been carrying that burden for a while. So yeah, I just see a lot of new windows opening up. And
I just hope they don't add a stupid frigging alien for no reason, like the Raptors or whatever it was in Force Awakens. And then I watched Rogue One yesterday because I've been watching them going through, and I was like, Bogolit. Like, Jesus Christ, cut that frigging Bogolit scene out. He's like, Bogolit will tell you the truth. Bogolit knows everything. The side effect is you go mad. I'm like, you know, it sounds like talking to my mother-in-law. Like, Bogolit. So I'm gonna call my mother-in-law now. Bogolit. Bogolit's coming. So yeah, so basically I hope they don't put like a stupid frigging big blob alien in this one, because that Raptor scene, they can cut that out of Force Awakens. For me, it was rubbish. It was obviously CGI, it looked crap. It was just it seemed like a way just to get the raid guys in, to be honest. Of the Wally Tico, whatever his frigging name was, that were after Han Solo. It just seemed like a way to get those guys in, and they didn't even fight. They just basically fell on their ass and got ate by a giant squid.
Yeah, basically.
So I don't know why.
But, you know, at least we don't have like a Jar Jar Binks character that's coming in and just being over the top for no reason. There's no romantic love scenes where they're, you know, frolicking and rolling down the hill. Yes, I watched episode 2 last night. So anyway, moving forward.
Yeah. Hey, Jesse Hernandez just sent the comment of the chat. All right. Jar Jar Binks makes a better Sith than Kylo Ren.
Jar Jar Binks is responsible for the Empire. Jar Jar Binks has done more bad shit than most people.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, Jar Jar wasn't supposed to be.
I know, I'm supposed to be a Sith
Lord.
I heard that.
Jar Jar was. If George Lucas would have made Jar Jar the evil Sith Lord, that would have been the greatest turnaround in movie history.
Yeah, people would have loved Jar Jar then suddenly.
No, George Lucas actually. Where Jar Jar was going to be Palpatine, or not Palpatine, but Plagueis. Go ahead, Thor.
Well, thank you very much.
Or you want to talk?
No, I want to talk, please. I've heard it. Okay, so it's well documented. I wasn't a fan of The Force Awakens. I mean, you know, it had its good points, it had its bad points. But with this movie, I've been kind of trying to stay medium. You know what I mean? Don't get too high, don't get too low. But as I was on this cruise ship having a Bahama Mama, in the middle of the casino,
where are them for?
They showed this last preview, and I'm watching. Everybody's gambling and everything. And I saw Kylo toss her his lightsaber. I was like, "Holy shit!"
Did she force grab it?
So whatever, she had it. I was like, "Oh, this is going to be special." You see, it just that little that did it for me. So now the hands starting to stand up on the back of my neck, and it's Star Wars time, and I'm full speed ahead. So y'all gonna see it before I am. Please do not tell me nothing. I will get on a plane to Australia, and I'm not one of them blokes. I'm not gonna be trying to the future. You get one of these mini lightsaber dildos.
But how much from the trailers do you guys think is actually going to be BS? I mean, how much are they just doing that to throw us off?
If it's the same as Justice League, 90%.
Yeah.
I was going to say about 70% or more, because I think they're doing that just to add that confusion that because people are going to talk about what they think and all that other stuff, but at the end of the day,
does anyone think that
you have to sit and watch it? I'm going to say you just have to sit and watch it.
Because in the trailer, when Rey grabbed Kylo's lightsaber with the Force, it looked fake to me. It didn't look like they would put that in a movie. It looked like a really cheap shot.
No, I think that's real.
It looked like I don't know. To me, it looked like he tossed it to her. You know what I mean? And it didn't look like a force grab. It was quick. I'm gonna have to watch it again because I've been on this damn boat. but it looked like he tossed it to her. You know.
Well, Thor, you know,
you see him say like, "Oh, here, I'll teach you" or something. Like,
right, exactly. They keep throwing little hints that they are in cohesion with something. You know,
Raylo.
Well, you know what? There is one sentence from The Force Awakens that I can't get it out of my head, and it's when Kylo is talking to Han Solo on the bridge, and he says, "I know what I have to do. I just don't know if I can do it." To me, who knows if Kylo is going to the dark side on purpose to try to save everybody?
Has anyone seen the theory that I've watched it back and paused it, that when he says, "I need your help," Kylo to his dad, and he says anything, I've heard that Han Solo ignites the lightsaber himself and kills himself.
It's not true. If you go in the novel,
is it not?
It says that he didn't do it.
But I think that there's more to that scene and that dialogue between the characters that we are led on to know.
How torn Kylo was after that. I think that he's emotionally crippled a bit because of how he expected to feel one way and he ended up feeling another way. I think that there is possibility of Kylo being redeemed, whether he'll be redeemed in the eyes of the fans, even if he is redeemed in the trilogy, because he killed one of the most beloved characters of all time. So will it actually happen? I think Leia's going to have a big part in this one. I don't know if this is true or what's going to happen. This is my theory, that Leia's going to be a big part in Kylo if he is redeemed. Yeah, and that will be why.
But the only way you can really redeem Kylo at this point, in my opinion, is if he has to go to the dark side for some reason. That he feels compelled, that he has to go that way. And that's maybe why he's throwing fits, is because he doesn't really want to be there. It's he feels forced to go that way because he thinks that's how he's going to save everybody, just like his father did. And remember, he said to his dad, I know, I want to finish what you started. Vader went to the dark side to save Padme, pretty much. So what if Kylo's going to the dark side to save somebody or someone?
Well, maybe he's trying to get close to Supreme Leader Snoke, and the only way he can do that is to earn his trust and maybe find a way to terminate his reign. You never know.
Did anyone see the premiere last night? Did you see it, the red carpet or anything? They had a life size of the new Walker. The bit new Gorilla Walker. There was a fucking life size Walker on the carpet. I was like, Star Wars new premiere is better than anybody ever. Mm-hmm. Seriously, it is ridiculous. They had little turrets. It was supposed to model the Battle on Crate, and they had a white carpet, and they had like little turrets firing lasers out and stuff, and the Walker coming towards it. I was like, that is ridiculously insane.
Mm-hmm. I've been telling people that for years. You can have all your Thanoses and your dark sides and all them kind of people. You ain't gonna destroy the creator people. Amen, Jesus.
We have somebody in our chat room, and I just want to give him a shout out because I think it's my friend Chava. Chava, is that you hiding behind the blue chat? If it's
the blue chat, the blue chat.
The blue chat.
Chava, come out of the blue chat.
Yeah,
be one with the Thor.
Stop hiding behind the no picture in the chat room, Chava.
Oh, you
right. I think we're all excited anyway to see this. I can't wait for Friday to be able to basically. To hold a carrot in front of Thor like that and basically taunt the crap out of him and go, yes, Thor, I'm not going to tell. Oh, wait, I'll tell you this little bit. So that'll be interesting. So make sure you tune in for Sif Happens on Friday. Paradox Nerd will be on there. I'll be on there. Mm-hmm. Luckily, Saturday morning I can have a lie-in because it'll be 3 morning my time or something. But yeah, so that'll be interesting.
So I'm actually
right.
I'm gonna say I'm actually seeing it not only Thursday night, but I'm also seeing it on IMAX at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Friday morning. So
all 3 of y'all gonna see it before me?
Yes,
I'm gonna see it twice. I'm gonna see it twice before I see you again, there, Thor.
Thor, you'll be the only one for right seeing it on the show.
I might have to go covert operations.
That's your fault. Just go see it.
Yeah, I might have to.
I'm going with Jedi. We're going together.
I'm seeing it Thursday morning.
Oh, damn it, Richard, go ahead.
I'm seeing it Thursday morning, 4DX. I'll have moving seats, I'll have bubbles, I'll have air, I'll have lasers, I'll have
bubbles.
Seriously, when I saw Justice League in it, right? I saw Justice League, and the bit where Aquaman, spoilers, it's in the trailer, walks into the water and it's like all over him. The fucking water jets literally drenched me like this, like I was like,
for real?
Yeah, I was like, it's so. I feel like I'm there. I was like, I was getting drenched in that. I was getting absolutely drenched in water when he walked into this thing. And
it wasn't the chair.
Yeah, I was just Richard sweating.
That was Jason in front of me going, DC, oh.
Hey, I gotta go.
Anyway,
I'm going to watch Star Wars with Jedi Chris. He better have man space in between the seats, man.
There's no guarantees. No guarantees. Right?
It's such a shame that Thor won't have seen it. Thor's going to be so left out on Friday.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Friday morning, y'all. I can't just come in here. Y'all be like, did you see that? Did you see that? I'm here like.
Well, right. if Thor sees it, then we can give a proper review of it because we had to do spoiler-free basically because Thor hadn't seen it. So hopefully, we'll the people on the chat will judge on the night how many have seen it in the chat. And if
Fandango right now.
Hey, Thor, you go see it Friday morning. I'll pay for it. Okay, you just let me know. Give me your address and I'll send you a check, dude.
I still got credit because 50 people look Fandango right now.
Anyway, let's move on to topic 3 because I have a feeling Rick's really waiting for this one. He hasn't done a rant in a couple of weeks, so he's really bubbling up at the minute. Right, topic 3. This is something that I thought about the other day, and it was something that I was like, this could really be something. With the Tokyo Comic Con, seeing all these new 1/3 lines and half scales, I prime one thinking long term because they could be inadvertently hurting themselves with the release of so many statues so early, so soon. Because basically, people are either going to, one, run out of money, but more likely run out of space. But then people will say, well, yeah, but they can sell statues. Okay, if they buy a lot of Prime 1, they're going to have to sell a lot of Prime 1 to get new Prime 1s in, which will flood the second-hand market with Prime 1 statues, which will lower the price. Mm-hmm. So, are we going to see in a couple of years' time people either stop buying Prime 1 statues or the price on the second-hand market lowers because people are selling a lot of them to fit midway for new statues? Because 1/3 are massive. So, we don't all live in mansions, and I've seen a lot of people buying 5 just this year. So, are we, Rick? I know you've got a lot to say on this. So, tell me, is this going to be a problem for Prime 1 in the future?
It is absolutely going to be a problem, and I have seen evidence of it already. We're not that far in. You got to think about Prime 1. They haven't been producing statues near as long as some, especially a company like Sideshow. Now, Sideshow's been able to produce 1/4 scales for years, and people have been okay. And we're talking about 1/4 scale, which is an entirely different animal when you're talking about space. Now, I'm in the groups a lot, and everybody that sees me in the groups knows I actually really like Prime 1. I drool over Prime 1 stuff all the time. I like the quality. I think part of it's because I like Batman so much, and they make tons of Batman stuff, so I'm kind of sucked into it. But I have a lot of friends on the groups. You guys probably know all the people that I know, too, that have they're diehard Prime 1 collectors, the people who will go out and buy a lot of Prime 1 pieces. I think Richard said some people buy like 5 a year stuff. Yeah, that's very accurate. And what I'm seeing is these people, where before they were just like every time they saw one they liked, they jumped on it, said, hey, I'll pre-order it, are now running out of space. And now we're seeing these amazing 1/3 scale statues come out, and they're saying, oh, that's amazing. I would love to have that, but I'm running out of space. I'm having to be selective. I heard a guy the other day say he actually pre-ordered his last Prime 1 piece because he has no more room. And then I heard another guy say he's slowing down. Another guy said he's slowing down. I've seen a couple of people who have started to sell some of their Prime 1 pieces and to try to make space for new ones. But if you think about the number of 1/3 scales that Prime 1 has shown just this year alone at the summer convention, at Winter Wonderfest, and then again at Tokyo Comic Con, there's no way all those statues can be purchased. I mean, one person can't buy them all. Yeah, I get that. One person can't buy half of them. One person can't buy 1/4 of them because they don't have the space. So at what point are the people who like 1/3 scale statues who are spending $1,000 a piece going to have to just say, I can't put any more in my collection? And then when it gets to that point, then Prime 1's not selling statues unless they sell the ones they have to buy new ones. Well, then, like you said, the market floods. And then now you've got all these 1/3 scales no one can sell. I'm having a problem right now where I have a couple of statues I want to get rid of to make room for other ones, and I can't sell them because the market's flooded. And there's crap everywhere. And that's not even 1/3 scale. We're talking 1/4 scale. So Prime 1's going to run into a problem. They're not seeing it right now, or if they're seeing it, they're not mentioning it. But you can tell that people are being way more selective about statues. Like the Lobo they showed yesterday, they teased several people, diehard collectors, people with money, people with, some of them with space, that have a lot of statues. We're saying, oh man, I love that Lobo statue, but you know what? I don't got space for it. You know, it's one of the best statues I've seen, you know, this year. Don't have space for it. I've heard people say, I love the Justice League line, but I don't have any room for it because they're 1/3 scale. It's a problem across the board. And some of the most prominent Prime 1 people in the community are having to start rethinking their collection and quitting. And that is a problem because you lose their excitement because they're out of the game. So they're not putting videos up. They're not reviewing pieces. They're not talking about them. So then the other people are going to lose excitement, and they're going to say, well, why do I want to collect them? And then you're going to have the option of, okay, well, I got to bring new people in because I've lost my veteran Prime 1 people. How are you going to convince a new collector to start out with $1,000 statues that take up that much space? You can't do it. So there is a problem coming for Prime 1. I like them. I love their products. I think they make amazing stuff. But you can't tell me that in 5 years, these collectors are still going to be buying these statues. They're not. There's no way. So that's my take on it. I know I could talk longer, but I'll pass it on to someone else. Let them have a say. How about let's do Jedi Chris. See what he has to say.
Well, yeah, actually, I've learned this back when remember when Star Wars Episode 1 first came out back in 1999. They produced so much stuff, you know, so much collector stuff and books and all that other stuff. Now, if I wanted to go and sell it, I'll be lucky if I even get what I paid for it back in 1999. All right, so I'm the action figure guy. For those that don't know, so I'm just ordering my first statues thanks to these guys, you know, corrupting me. But anyway, I've seen collector stuff flood the market to the point where you know, almost, you know, not quite 20 years later, the value is decreased. Now I know we don't collect because we're looking at, you know, selling it here and, you know, flipping it, so to speak, in 2 months. But let's say we want to sell it so we can buy another statue, and now we're losing money. That's very disheartening. It's definitely a distraction. And if Prime 1 vendor, like Rick was saying, is going to lose their long-term fans and collectors, and they're going to have to reduce the price to get new collectors, now you're going to have a lot of disenfranchised and bitter previous collectors that were there from the get-go. So I think spacing it out, like, you know, like for instance, Russia has a huge diamond mine, right? They only let out so much a year because if they let it all out, the price of diamonds would almost crash. So I think if Prime 1 were smart, only do a couple statues, like maybe 4 or 5 statues a year. So maybe every quarter, say, hey, we got a new one. Check this out.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Prime 1 to come out with some Star Wars stuff. Prime 1, if you're listening, Star Wars. I mean, you get me and some other folks. Just throwing it out there. But bottom line is, if they spaced it out, now you've got that anticipation. You're waiting. You're waiting for that one item, and then, you know, only have a certain amount, as opposed to creating, say, 5,000 of these. Maybe do like 500. Now people are going to spend all kinds of money, secondary market for this stuff, and it's a win-win for everybody. But, you know, that's just my basic economics 101 for collectors. But I'm going to stop now because caffeine is going to make me talk the rest of the show. So,
Ian, what do you think, Ian?
Well, you know what, you guys all have valid points. You know, you really do. But we've seen a lot of Prime 1s released at the Comic-Con recently, but they're not released. They're just showing them. You know, they haven't released anything for order yet. So I think we need to calm down. You know, it's not like Prime 1 saying, hey, all of a sudden we're going to release 30 statues in the next month. That's not happening. We don't know what their plan is for the release of these statues. This could be their statues that they're going to release for the next year, and that's it. We don't know that. But if you're running out of space, get one of these guys. That's what I'm doing.
Well,
buy a damn hot toy, Rick. Come on.
Ian.
What do you think I'm doing?
This is their release. Even if this is their release schedule for the next 2 years, eventually people are going to run out of space.
Yeah.
It's that we're buying more statues now, even though the prices are ridiculous than probably people ever have been. So eventually, people are going to run out of space and be like, okay, well, they'll sell some and they'll make space. Yep. Okay, then you're going to start seeing what we're seeing now with sideshow pieces on the eBay, which is flooding the market with statues. So if there's 20 Prime 1 pieces go up for the same thing, you know what I mean? You're flooding it and no one either sells them, and then they can't get the other piece in, or they sell them for a cheaper price.
You're right, but you guys are missing the point here. Okay, let Prime 1 flood the market. Go ahead, because what's the value of their statues? They're going to go down, and that's better for collectors.
It's better for buyers. It's not better
for them. There's no company.
No, but listen to guys. Supply and demand. If they want to release all these statues at one time, they're not all going to be bought. So what's going to happen? The price is going to go down because they're going to try to get rid of them. So maybe them releasing all these statues at one time, if that's what they decide to do, because they haven't done that, they've just put them on display. But if they do push all these statues out, it will lower the price because people won't buy them all. So maybe it's a good thing for collectors. Thor and Rodney is laughing at me right now. I don't know why you guys are laughing. But you better.
Go on, Thor. What do you think?
Well, I think the size is definitely could be the downfall. I've seen 2 of his pieces. I mean, they're gorgeous. Paint job, everything. I mean, the quality can be, disputed. But it's, to me, it's like on the Batman pieces, I think the bases are just too large. Like if they could shave it down a little bit so you could get into your detail or something like that, it might be better. But I mean, I just think eventually the space is going to become a problem. They one second. Perfect example. Doomsday. I want Doomsday back. It's just too large. I don't know where I would put it.
Or if you can't put Doomsday in a DTOF, you're in trouble.
Well, I mean, none of that's in the DTOF. No, those aren't in DTOF.
Put them in a DTOF.
But it's just,
Someone tell Ian to stop drinking. He's been drinking for 3 days straight. I think he's literally 90% alcohol right now.
It is vodka.
I think Rodney got something to say.
Yeah, this is not a Prime 1 problem. This is maybe a Prime 1 doing 1/3 Batman problem and not being able to get Batman in anything but 1/3. But it's not a Prime 1 problem. I love Prime 1 more than XM, and it's not for their 1/3 stuff. They have a lot of quarter scale stuff I want. If you don't have space for it, don't buy it all. It's just that simple to me.
Yeah, but that's what I mean by
the point. Yeah.
Are they hurting themselves? Yeah. Like if you say, okay, don't buy it all.
No, because they do other scales. Now I don't understand why their Batman stuff is only in 1/3. That's a problem. Like
what other scales did they? Sorry, what other scales did they do? Because at Tokyo Comic Con,
quarter scale. There was their Witcher stuff, G.I. Joe, their Berserker, their guy. That stuff is quarter scale.
Well, can I?
Yeah, but
look on their quarter scale.
Let me clarify something about it's all licensing. Prime 1 doesn't have the license for most quarter scale stuff. I have four Prime 1 statues myself in their quarter scale. I haven't bought a single 1/3 Prime 1 because of that. But I have 4 of them, and it's the Turtle stuff. Turtle stuff, they have a quarter scale. They have some video game stuff in quarter scale. They have some G.I. Joe stuff in quarter scale. They have some quarter scale stuff. It's just that the licenses that everybody is buying, the ones that people like, which is the Batman, the Supermans, and they only have the license for 1/3. Sideshow has the quarter scale license for those pieces. And the problem is the new 52 line that Prime 1 is doing, which is a quarter scale line, is only done with cooperation with Sideshow. They got Sideshow's permission. They worked with Sideshow to make them, and that's the reason why we have a quarter scale new 52 line. Otherwise, Prime 1 wouldn't be making any quarter scale comic book stuff. They don't have the license for it, and they won't get the license for it because Sideshow owns the license, and they're not letting it go. So Prime 1's problem is, it is a problem to me, but it's not a problem that it's all their fault because they don't have the license and they're getting screwed over by Sideshow because Sideshow's the big daddy of all of them, and they own the license. So argument I'm trying to make, and the one Richard's trying to make, is if the people buying your product, the regular customers that you have, the people who are buying your Prime 1 statues, who like your Batman, your Superman, your Wonder Womans, your Justice League, if they like those pieces and they're your primary target moneymakers, and they are, because most of the stuff they do is 1/3, and they're the ones buying them, and they run out of space, then who's buying your statues? Because we're talking, a lot of these statues they're a very niche thing, especially these 1/3s. You can't tell me the average collector wants a 1/3. You got a special kind of collector that wants that 1/3 piece. And when they run out of space, they're gone. They're not coming back because they can't get rid of these 1/3s. They're not throwing them out on the corner for the garbage man to pick up. I mean, it's not happening. So what I'm saying is, if you bought the whole Arkham line, let's say you bought the whole Arkham line that's coming out, you have just taken up the equivalent of an average person's entire collection. Like if you just looked at Alex and Geo, if you look at their collection, if you lined up all the Arkham across Alex's collection, it would take up his whole wall of his entire collection and just the Arkham line alone. That just tells you how much space those dang things take up. So my argument, and I think Richard was saying the same thing, is you're losing your target audience because your statues are big. And it's not your fault.
But
it's just,
that's what
they're do about it. Yeah.
What else are they supposed to do if that's what they're stuck having to do? Because
I know, that's what I'm saying. They're screwed. I think that's the point, right? It's not their fault completely. It's just they're screwed because where do you go from here? I mean, you go to half scale. You've done half scale. They're even bigger. What are you going to do? Life size? That's even bigger. You're not going to go to 6th scale because these guys that are buying 1/3 scales aren't going to buy a 6th scale statue in place of it. They're in a bad position. I don't envy them.
I think personally this is a 2020 problem. I think this year we've been all about price rises, and that's been the big drama in the industry, and also the bit of a crash of the second-hand market. 20, maybe 2000, end of 2019, probably not. Probably 2020, 2021. We're going to see this start to happen. We're going to see statues not selling because people have either filled up their entire displays or, I mean, Leonardo de Sanchez. I've butchered your name. Leonardo de Sanchez. Have you seen his collection? He's running out of space.
He's getting more stuff all the time. What the hell?
But you can look at his collection. But if you look at his collection and his room, he's got a massive room, and even he's running out of space.
Yep.
And if people start selling a lot of statues, flooding the market is just going to lower prices, which is great for buyers but crap for sellers. So
I just got one more point. Has anybody paid attention to the old sideshow pieces and how much real estate they took up versus what statues are taking up now? If you take, I have an old sideshow premium format Black Widow over here, like from a few years ago. It takes up no real estate at all. Then I go and I have an XM statue over here. It takes up it's as wide as a dang Besta. I mean, that's the problem. That's the problem.
I think people need to scale these bases back.
I just said. He's a Magneto polystone 5th scale, right?
Yeah.
And then look at one of the newer 5th scales that they brought out.
That's beautiful.
I'm just looking at Jason's ass. I'm just looking at Jason's
ass. You too? How much real estate he takes up.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
I'm argue that 1/5 scale is like the perfect size. If they can just make it 1/5 scale. Because look, you got Darth Talon, Mythos Vader, Mythos Maul, 3 of them all in one detail. You know what I mean? You know. Yeah.
And also that would fix the price problem as well, because I feel like we're paying for a base.
Yeah, we are.
Think about Wonder Woman, think about Namor. We're paying for a base. We're not paying for the character. We're paying for the base around it. So make the base smaller, allow collectors to be able to display it in different areas, and lower the frigging price. Do you know what? I don't give a shit about the frigging octopus. I want Namor. I want the character. It could be stood on a rock. It doesn't matter.
I like my Witcher bases.
The Witcher bases.
I like my Witcher bases. I'm sorry. Don't change that.
I mean Arkham one.
Yeah. Some of those are definitely...
Even the Dark Knight one. That's kind of huge. I mean,
Jason, what do you think, mate? You haven't gone yet.
Look, I think you're right on the money with what you're saying, guys. They're bringing out too much large stuff too close together. I mean, like everyone knows I'm a DC collector. I buy a few Marvel pieces here and there. But like you look at Sideshow in comparison. Now, so far there's only 3 next year that I've got lined up to buy. All the rest that I'm looking for are like older ones and that are gone, and I have to get in the aftermarket. So with them 3, that's fine. I can easily budget them 3 statues in to purchase and have the payment plans and that done for the year. But, you know, if you're looking at prime ones and you're looking at maybe 4 or 5 and they're all over $1,000 and you want to collect the set, man, unless you're, as someone was saying, unless you're in that top 2% sort of thing of collectors and can afford that sort of thing, you're going to be doing a hard pass. I look at these Justice League line that they're doing now, and they're fantastic. But, mate, I just know how much real estate they will take up in my collection, and I just can't afford to either, A, pay that sort of money for them, and 2, I can't dedicate that amount of room where I could fit maybe, like I said, there's 5 statues. I could probably fit 10 water scales there.
Go on, Ian.
I'm sorry, Jason, to interrupt you, but you really like the Justice League Prime ones?
Yeah, I like the new 52.
Okay, the new 52 is good. But look, Prime 1, they try to sell these Ben Affleck statues like crazy. I don't think they sell because it's Ben Affleck. But look at these honestly, every Ben Affleck is still available. Why is that? It's because it's Ben Affleck. That new Ben Affleck Prime 1 Justice League, the newer one, not the one where he's, you know, on the gargoyle, the one where he's got the towel. That is a terrible statue.
Which one are they talking about?
Ian, Ben Affleck didn't want to go on a date with you. Get over it. He turned you down. It's fine. Do you know what I mean?
I'll
You've
never
got to
be over it. Drew McIntyre too.
Ungraceful Toad in the chat said it took an hour to mention Wonder Woman on horse. I will actually tell you, she's on my T-shirt. She's been on my T-shirt the entire night. So yes, it took an hour to mention her, but do you know what? This is actually labelled the curse T-shirt on our shop. So yeah, that's called the curse T-shirt. So yeah. What I was going to say. By the way, if I'm pixelated, I apologise. My good internet gets installed on Tuesday, and I will have fibre optic, and you will be able to see every wrinkle, every grey hair that these idiots have given me, and it'll be amazing. So basically, yeah. So I will have, and good internet means, boys, we can go back to the good production quality, and we can keep it live. So we'll have the logo, the topics, the scroll banner, and stuff back, and we'll be able to keep it live, which is amazing achievement finally for these idiots.
Speaking of live, I got my ticket for Friday.
Yeah! Amen!
10 a.m.
Oh, how are you going to explain that to the mother-in-law now?
Everybody's going to be at work on Friday, so yeah, I got to go get some groceries.
Yeah, okay, groceries.
Be back in 3 hours.
Well, it's the longest Star Wars movie apparently of them all. So yeah, it might be 4 hours. You'll be back in.
Yeah.
Need to not watch out because I think that they've looked at it this far ahead. To be honest, and I think this is and this is not saying anything bad about Prime 1, but do you really look at what's going to happen in 2020 right now? But we see a lot more of the collectors, and I mean, Alex Rad Titan, his collection is growing weekly at a minute. Everyone's running out of space, and new collectors, a lot of new collectors aren't willing to pay $1,000 for a statue. I mean, to be fair, right, $1,000, kind of have blinkers on sometimes because that is ridiculous amount of money to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Resin. I mean,
sorry to interrupt, but I've got better news for you, buddy. I'll be going to see Star Wars Wednesday night at midnight.
Live updates for the Star Wars tickets, baby. Damn.
Tell Jason to get lost.
Light up
Tuesday morning for you, brother.
Oh,
the lightsaber, you prick. Yeah. I'll announce something now, kind of. We see this as a luxury hobby. It is. It's a luxury hobby. But there's the poverty thing going on in LA right now. People are struggling to be able to live and be able to eat and can keep the kids clothed and stuff like that. It's hard to watch when we spend this much money on stuff. So we have something going in January. We're not going to give full details now, but we're trying to find a way to use the Collectiverse website and use us collecting and buying stuff to basically give back to charity. And it's called Collectors Give Back. And we're going to basically, I mean, Ian, am I okay to announce this now? Does it really matter?
I think
I think
back now, Richard.
You can't go back now.
Hey,
right.
The only way out is
No take backs.
I don't want Ian to give me a bollocking after because I have a tendency to announce things. Okay, so we've spoke to Sideshow. Well, he's my work wife apparently, so I don't want to get any earache off the wife.
He keeps calling me work wife, but I ain't seen none money or anything. So, anyways, go on, Richard.
They get called bitch.
Okay, basically, everyone we have never got any money from our pre-orders on our site. Ever, because we had to make a deal with a channel when we first came on to get them on the site. We agreed to let them have our affiliate links for a certain amount of time. So any pre-order done basically through the site is not going to us, and it never has. But from January, we get those links back. So we wanted to think how it's never been about money for us, and we wanted to know how can we do something that's really beneficial. So if you buy anything from the Collectiverse website in April 1st, so January 1st, April 1st. So anything from Sideshow, First for Figures, anything from Forbidden Planet, or anything that was on the site pre-orders-wise, all commissions will be going to charity. They will. And we'll be putting up free charities for public voting. It'll be free charity. We haven't picked the actual charities yet, but it'll be something to do with underprivileged kids or people homeless or anything like that. So anything, so you get to buy your statue and basically give something back to the community. Now we know we're going to get some backlash from people who do affiliate links. We know we're not trying to steal for food off your table. We're not. We're trying to do something good with ours. We're pressuring people to buy from us. We're basically, if you want to buy from people like Brad Titan or whoever, still that's great. But we're giving you an option. If you pre-order through the Collectiverse website, it will go to charity. And at Wonderfest, we will be taking pre-orders on statues as well, and that will all be going to charity. Vote on the charities. So basically, you'll be free. You'll get to vote. We're working with companies now to be able to do an amazing giveaway of a big statue, so that you'll basically get put into a draw if you vote for the charity to get a statue, so you get something back as well. So we're going to trial run this for the first 3 months. If it works out and we raise quite a bit of money for charity, we will do it twice a year. We will do 3 months at the end of the year. So we will be giving 6 months away of pre-order money to charity. I think, listen, I'm putting into this, like the awards of me and Ian must have put nearly $1,000 each in. The other guys have put some in. We could do with the money. We really could. But we've got a chance to do something good here. I hate affiliate links. I'm sorry, but Thursdays I stay away from Facebook because they do my head in. I'm sorry, they do. I know people make money off them. I know it's how they live, but it does my head in. I feel like I'm just being bombarded by people saying, buy this, buy that, buy this. Yeah. So we've never actually posted anything to our pre-orders on any groups, but we know that they're there. We know people visit the pages, and when we get the links back, we want to do something good with it. So if you want to give to charity in the start of 2018, Give Back campaign will be live, and we will be fully transparent. If anyone wants to know how much has been raised or what charity it's going to, then we will basically give anybody any details they want. So that's it. Yeah, we've announced it now. I'm glad we've actually got to announce it to the people who come on the chat and stuff. I mean, you've not heard much about this because this has been a sort of a back end thing that me and Ian have been talking about. What do you think to all this?
That's wonderful, man. I mean, you're right. You see the people's houses on fire in California and things like that, and you're spending enormous amounts on these statues. I think that's wonderful that we're able to give back to folks less fortunate, and still through the hobby. But that's a wonderful cause, man. That's great, and keep on going.
I just want to say,
I mean, Jason, I know that. Sorry, go on, Rick. Sorry, mate.
I just wanted to say this is a perfect time to buy your expensive Prime 1 statues that take up a lot of the affiliate link.
Well, wait until January.
Yeah, wait until January, and also buy a damn hot toy. Sorry.
I'm expecting a bit of
Batman pre-ordering in January.
The new Court of the Dead stuff in January.
Do you know what's funny? I watched Monsters University with my toddler earlier because I ain't spent much time with Gossip Awards. And there's a scene in Monsters University where they're selling these T-shirts for charity, and the guy goes, "You shouldn't do that." And he goes, "Hey, this guy hates charity." And I'm like, that's probably what I'm going to shout out when people start giving me shit about it from all groups. Like, basically, I'm going to get so much crap off people like, "You're stealing food off our table, how dare you," and all that crap. And I'm like, listen, I'm not putting a gun to anyone's head. I'm not forcing anyone to buy from Collectiverse. But do you know what? Let's turn this annoying thing that happens every week into something positive. Do you know what? This is a very luxury hobby that even we struggle to afford. And then there's people who can barely pay to get the kids new shoes. Right. So let's do something with it. Let's collect statues and be very happy about it. And you know what? Let's massage his conscience a bit and give something back to the community, because I don't want these commissions. I'm sorry, I don't want these commissions from anybody. I want people to collect, but I want to do something good with it. So if this works out, we'll do it quite a lot more. And like I said, there will be something you can get out of it as well. We're hoping to get a big statue confirmed to be able to give away for the people who voted. We're going to put up 3 charities, like I said, because we didn't want to pick the charity. We wanted you guys to decide what was the worthwhile cause that you want to choose from. I mean, Chris, you're nodding your head. You know a bit about this. What do you think?
Well, I've dealt with not only a lot of volunteering, but a lot of children's organizations in regards to donating. And I think we could all feel comfortable with the fact that, yes, with all the tragedies going on, even worldwide, that if we could, even help one family, even if we could help one family every month, I mean, that's far better than anything. So bottom line is, it starts with one, and then it grows from there. But yeah, I support this. I think it's great. Like you said, we've all put our own money into the program, into our collection and hobbies, and we're still human beings. We're still humanitarians. We're a community organization. Let's make sure people realize that and not lose sight of that. You're gonna have haters. It's gonna happen. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, we're doing the right thing, and I think that's only gonna help support our cause and keep moving forward.
Well, you'll be surprised though how you can try and do a good deed and get turned something negative. Like, we got by one of our competitors. Yeah, we have competitors now. Apparently, we have competitors. Said that we basically use channels to make our site big. And then the same day, Stephen Horton from MyDC said, "This month I've had 20% views and referrals and subscribers from Collectiverse." He's one of our members. So I'm like, okay, so yes, we have the site and we have members' content on there, and without it, we're nothing. I agree with that. But it's a partnership. We help them get views, and people notice their reviews that wouldn't notice their channel normally. Yeah. It's surprising. We try to do something good, and people can always turn anything badly, but I can't see how they can give me crap for this. But you guarantee I'll be getting some crap for this. I guarantee I'll be getting some.
Richard, you see, I get at least 22% of the views through the Collectiverse website. So
yeah, but I am expecting some. Probably won't be public backlash. It'll be private message backlash. It'll be channels saying how can you do this and stuff like that. It's not about them.
It's about helping people. We're not taking. It's about other people. Be a humanitarian. Don't think about yourself. Think about others, man. That's all it is.
Yeah. I agree. Richard, we haven't talked about this, and this is just me coming up with the idea right here, right now. And I know I have.
God.
Yeah, so Richard, hold on. You're going to bounce.
Pause the stream. Pause the stream.
Wait. I need to
hold on. Listen to the man who collects the pops, all right? There's going to be a lot of people out there who cannot afford to buy a statue. And if you cannot afford to buy a statue, that's no excuse for not helping out the community. So if you take a picture of yourself volunteering anywhere, any volunteer effort, take a picture of yourself, send it to us. I'm sure, Richard, you can make a picture page, and we'll put it up on the Collectiverse.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And what
does give back?
And what do they get for that?
I'll send, hey, you get your name put in a drawing for something I will personally buy for you.
Well, that's £4.50 of something that you're going to get.
Yeah, it's an ice cream.
It's one of them pops.
Or a fifth
Or
of
those
ice
pops. Can it be the flowers?
I think we've been on long enough tonight, so I want to thank everybody for being on. We didn't plan to announce the Collectors Give Back campaign tonight, but I'm glad that we did because the people that are on the chat and that are watching right now, those guys are on every week, and you know what? All those guys are family to me, so I really appreciate everybody being on, and I'm glad you guys saw it first, and I hope it does do some good. I hope it doesn't turn into a basically collector versus stealing our money kind of crap, because it's not going to us. So, and then, do you know what? If you're opposed to this, then you need to really think about your moral standing and shit. So, anyway, I hope my mother-in-law is going to hate you now because of us. But you know what? Your mother-in-laws are meant to hate you. So my mother-in-law hates me. I've done nothing wrong to her. So you might as well just join the club.
It's all good. You'll get over it. But, yep. Sip happens this Friday. We're giving away the 2-pack of Royal Guards, and we'll have a proper spoiler-free review. Love y'all.
And the third episode of What a Character, which is Wonder Woman, won't be up tomorrow, unfortunately, like it should be, because it's the day to do it. I'm going to be honest with you right now. So basically, so it will be up on Tuesday. I really apologize for that. You'll have to get your Wonder Woman fix, Rick, on Tuesday. Don't worry. I've blurred out all the nude bits because I know you really Wonder Woman nude. So
yeah, I think I'm
going to get a bigger whiteboard, man. I'm trying to do Hal Jordan at the moment, man, but there is just way too much to bloody write down on these boards. So I think I need to go get myself a bigger whiteboard.
I don't want to know about how the sausage is made. I just want to eat it. Come on, Jason.
Oh no.
What were you saying, Rick?
Yeah, I just wanted to put out an announcement. I know we got this charity event, and I'm fully behind it. Right after that, I'm actually going to be starting a GoFundMe. I need a pair of pants. It's gotten pretty bad. I've gone pantsless for months now, and while I was buying the statues, I wasn't buying pants. So it's gotten out of hand now. My wife's getting kind of irritated. So if anybody out there would like to join in with me and get me a pair of pants, I would be much appreciated today. It's getting cold.
Rick needs a pair of pants, charity.
It's getting cold in Oklahoma right now, and I need some pants. So
we started a Patreon, Rick. We started a Patreon.
Okay, yeah.
Rick collects pants.
Starring Putin.
Right, guys, I'm cutting off there because we're getting into a very weird territory right now. And thanks to everybody who turned up. Thanks to all the guys for chatting today. The guys in the live chat, you've been amazing as always. You've really been communicating with each other, and that's great to see. Next week, we will. I don't know if I can get the new version of the show up for next week. I'll try my best with the stuff back. Next split, pretty much. But the week after, it'll definitely be up because I'll have my great internet again. So you will see everything in HD. So apology for all that. But you know what? I can't change my face. Sorry about that. And the collector awards will be up on January the 8th by hook or by crook. I'm pretty much told myself there's going to be no sleep until then. And like I said, it was a great night. Ian was there, so not all silver linings, but you know what? It was a great night.
Somebody's got to carry everybody.
Yes, Ian, that's what you do. Right, guys. Anyway, we'll see you all next week for episode 14. Friday, we'll have all seen it then. So what we'll do is we'll judge on Friday whether we should do it. We'll do probably do a non-spoiler review to start out with, and then anybody who hasn't seen it can basically leave the chat before the spoiler review, probably.
And spoiler review Thursday morning in the Collectiverse chat.
So.
Yeah, I don't think I'll have seen it, so I will be out.
Sorry. I'm wearing special headphones. It blocks out Aussies. I apologise. I didn't hear that.
No worries. You miss out on all the tidbits.
Again, I just heard barbecue and shrimp. What was that? Sorry, I can't really.
It's a prawn, for God's sake, a prawn.
Something about VB beer and kegs. I don't know. He's speaking. He's rambling on now. Right. Anyway, I'll say thanks for everybody that came, and we'll see you next week for episode 14.
Later.
Cheers, guys.
Have a good one.